welcome back to my channel. So in one of my other videos, somebody commented and asked me what are the differences between doing the DCP and study abroad. Basically they were saying they couldn't decide between the two. So I was lucky enough to do both things in the past couple of years. So I have a really good perspective on the differences between them, all the pros and cons of each of them, and maybe you'll be able to do both as well. I was really lucky. I had financial support, so that helped, and I also just did a really short-term study abroad. So I studied abroad the summer going into my senior year, and I went to Italy for the whole month of August. So it was only a 1-month little program. It was like 2 credits, and I was able to do that, so that was amazing. But I know a lot of people are torn between doing a whole semester abroad or a whole semester at Disney World. The decision was made pretty easily for me because my advisor said that my school didn't count any credits from the Disney College program, so I couldn't do that while I was actually in college, and that's why I did the Disney College program after I graduated, and that was a really good way for me to do it, and you can do that as well. It just gives you less chances to apply and get in. I was lucky enough to get in on my first try, so everything worked out. But I do remember that when I was a sophomore planning for my junior year, before I even knew that my school didn't accept the DCP, I made a list of pros and cons of each thing, and it helped me decide that I did want to do the Disney College program. Little did I know I wouldn't be able to do that yet. Anyway, that's my story, but I want to tell you guys all the pros and cons of each thing, and then maybe you'll be able to decide which one you would like to do. Or you can do both, because it's great. So I'm going to start with talking about study abroad. So when I studied abroad in Italy, I wasn't a vlogger at all yet. I didn't have a YouTube channel, and I wish I did because I would have had some amazing videos to look back on. But I did take my camera and I took a lot of little videos, bad quality, but I'm going to make a little montage right now and put that in the video. Alright, so study abroad. Let's talk about the pros and cons. So the pros. Number 1, studying abroad is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Usually that is the one chance you get to be a student in a different country. If you have more than that, you are really lucky. You get to live in an apartment in a foreign country, wake up every day, go to your classes, go to your favorite cafe every morning, just listen to the local people, learn so many things, try so many things. It is an amazing once-in-a-lifetime experience. Number 2, you can travel all over when you're studying abroad. I wasn't able to do this since my program was only a month. It was really short. We just traveled all over Italy, which was still amazing. But a lot of people, if they study abroad in Europe, they can go to a lot of the neighboring countries in Europe very easily. Whenever you have a break during your semester abroad, that's when people usually travel. Maybe like on the weekends, you could just like hop over to Paris for the weekend. I wish I could do that. Like I didn't get to, and that would be amazing. Number 3, you're probably still earning credits when you study abroad. You're going to want to choose a program that has credits that will apply to your major so that you're not falling behind. Because you don't want to study abroad for an entire semester and then have to repeat a semester to catch up. Because I know a lot of people either don't get enough credits when they study abroad, or they don't pass their classes so that they don't get the credits as well. So if you do study abroad, try and stay focused and get those credits, even though you're gonna have the best time of your life there. And you can explore when you finish your assignments and stuff, because it is also for school. Like, that's the cool part, is that you can still be a student abroad. Number 4, you have real cultural experiences when you're studying abroad. You are literally immersed in an entire new culture, new country, different people, different way of living. So you can see historic places that were built years and years and years ago. You can learn a new language if it's a country that doesn't speak English, or whatever country you're from. I don't know where you're watching this from. You can take cooking classes, you can go on different tours, you can do like crazy adventurous things like skydiving and stuff, and like I've seen people do the most amazing things during their study abroad. It's the time of their life. And finally, studying abroad is great if either you commute to your school, or if you don't really love your campus, or maybe you're not too close with many people, like you can get away for a semester and you can be free and living on your own. So that depends. If you like your campus, which I really, really did. I didn't even want to leave my campus for a semester because I didn't want to miss anything, but it wouldn't be missing anything if you were studying abroad. You'd have an amazing time. And the final pro for studying abroad is getting to meet a lot of new people. So you'll meet people from the country that you're in. You'll meet other students who are studying abroad from all different universities. You'll probably make a ton of new friends. The negatives about studying abroad. Number 1 is that it's much more costly than the Disney College program. Studying abroad, I know you probably put down a fee, whatever, I don't know how much they cost on average, it probably depends on the program, but it's in the thousands, and you pay that much money and you're set with your accommodations and stuff. But then if you want to take extra trips and all the food you eat, all of that, it costs extra. So it will be a lot out of your pocket if you study abroad. But I don't know, I think it's probably worth it because, again, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, but definitely expensive. Next con to studying abroad, there is most likely a big time zone change for you, and it will be pretty hard to keep in contact with your family and friends, and even like adjust your sleep schedule for the first couple of weeks. I really relied on talking to my family and friends while I was in Italy, and that was really tough because I would be going to sleep and they would have half their day left, and I always felt like I was missing out on things, so that was hard for me. And you definitely would get homesick if you can't find the time to talk to everybody, or if you feel like you're just missing each other all the time, especially if you go to Australia, because that's like 2 different days. It's crazy. So also, another con to studying abroad is that your family might not be able to visit often or at all. I know a lot of people's families make a big trip out of it and then go one time during your spring break or something, and that seems like an amazing experience, but it is harder to see everybody, and unlike the Disney College program, you can't just hop on a flight home if you're feeling homesick that weekend or something like that. I don't think anybody's done that. The next con to studying abroad is a culture shock. So depending on where you go, it might be very different from where you grew up and what you know. When I was in Italy, the apartment that I was staying in was very nice. It was on, a nice secluded street, but my friend's apartment, who was right below us, got robbed in the middle of the day. Laptops stolen, watches stolen, AirPods stolen, and it was the middle of the day. We went out for lunch, came back, their stuff was gone, and it made me so anxious for the whole rest of the trip because I didn't want anything like that to happen. I know that's not a culture thing, but petty crime might be more popular in other parts of the world, and you might not be prepared for that. I was so sheltered, I wasn't prepared for any of the cultural changes that I was seeing. So the next con is a language barrier. So obviously, depending on where you go, there might not be a language barrier. But if you're going to Europe, there most likely will be. I really couldn't understand, I don't know Italian, I couldn't speak with them. I had very small skills because I was taking Italian 101 when I was there, and I could, order in a restaurant. I got pretty good by the end of the trip, but honestly, it's all gone now. So that was definitely hard for me to not be able to just talk to anybody that I met. I felt like an outcast when I was trying to, just go somewhere and order a coffee. I felt like I stood right out, and that was kind of uncomfortable. Finally, the last con to studying abroad is that you might not have great health care over there. So if you have a cold or you fall and you need stitches or something, it's not going to be like going to a hospital in the United States if you're from here. There's not that safety and comfort that you feel. It's just a different experience going to an international hospital or an urgent care or whatever they have. So that might not be great if you have, medical needs. You might not want to be away in a foreign country for that long, so just keep that in mind too. And now we're going to talk about the pros of the Disney College program. So the Disney College program, I'm sure you guys have seen some of my other videos. If not, go check them out. I did it in spring of 2019 and I was an attractions cast member. I always wanted to work at Disney World. I just thought my personality would fit really well there, and it was a bucket list thing for me to do. So that's why I did it. And I don't regret it at all. I had the best time. You guys know that. So here are the pros to doing the Disney College program instead of studying abroad. So you are earning money. It is a job. It's not a lot of money, and then you spend a lot of it back. But you still are earning money if you use it wisely and save it. You're not going to be earning money when you're studying abroad, most likely. Unless you somehow get a job. I don't think anyone would have time for that. That'd be crazy. Number 2, if you're a Disney fan, you get to be in Disney. You get to say you live in Disney World. Who doesn't want to say that? All of my family and friends were jealous of me, and I got to go anytime I ever wanted. You can go to the parks before your shift, after your shift. You're most likely in the parks during your shift. You can go on your days off. You can go to Universal. Any other theme park in Orlando. You are surrounded by Disney, and that is any Disney fan's dream for the most part. The next pro for the Disney College program is that you will get to meet a lot of people, just like studying abroad. So you're going to meet people from so many different countries, every country from the World Showcase, people who are on their cultural exchange program, the international college program people. You're going to meet people from all different universities, everywhere. You're not going to be seeing people all from the same school or anything like that. People come from all over the place, and that's amazing. Some of my best friends were Australian. I love them. I miss them so much. So the next pro to the Disney College program is that you can get free park admission in any of the Disney parks around the world. So if you're able to find time to take some time off and travel to Disneyland in California, or even Disneyland Paris, I don't know if you'll be able to do that during your college program unless you extend, and then you can probably get the time off. But if you're doing the 4-month, 5-month one, I don't think you're gonna have time. So if you have a longer program and you can find the time, you can travel to Paris. All you have to pay for is the flights and the hotels, and not the park tickets. So it is possible. Or you can do a cruise for a discounted rate. Another pro about the Disney College program is that you can bring your car there if it's possible for you. And if you're studying abroad, you obviously don't have a car, you have to take public transportation everywhere, but you do have an option to bring a car on the Disney College program, and that just helps you get around to wherever you need to go, whenever you want to go there. And the final pro to the Disney College program is that, well, this was for me at least, it was the same time zone as where I'm from. I'm from New York, so Florida is the same time zone, and that was really nice that I would have the same time. I wouldn't be experiencing any time change and time difference from my family and friends who I was trying to be in touch with. And it also wasn't far away from my home. It was just, a short flight away, and people can visit me all the time. So I don't know, it depends on where you live. You might be from a different country, you might be from the other side of the country. So you would have a time change, but you could definitely make that work. It wouldn't be too much of an adjustment for you. Now we're gonna get to the cons about the Disney College program. Number 1 is that the World Showcase is not traveling the world. It's inspired by amazing places around the world, but you're not going to have the same experiences that you would have in the actual countries. So it is a great thing for sure, but getting a beer in the Germany pavilion is not the same thing as getting a beer in Germany. It's so similar. It's like as close as you can get without leaving the country, without leaving Florida, but you're not really getting any cultural authentic experiences. Those pavilions are created by, ambassadors of that country, and they have cast members there that are from that country. It's whatever you make of it. Another con is that you're going to be working a lot, probably around 6 days a week on average, and around 6 to 12-hour shifts, depending on your luck, depending on your role. So that doesn't leave you too much free time to play around. Even when you're really exhausted, you will find the time to go to a park and push through, but it is a lot of work. Another con to the Disney College program depends on your school. You might have to repeat a semester or take online classes while you're there. So again, with working and online classes and wanting to have fun, your schedule is going to be booked all the time. You need a second for self-care, you gotta relax, you gotta take your you time, and there's really not much time in there for that. The final con to the Disney College program is that Disney has a lot of rules. So if you're living in the Disney housing complexes, you can't have guests stay over. You have to be quiet at certain times. You have to respect, you would do that anyway, but I feel like if you had your own apartment, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. You're gonna, be courteous to people, but you can have your family and friends stay over. If your significant other visits, they can stay with you. But since you're in the Disney housing, you have to get a hotel every time you want to stay with people who visit you. And also, you can get terminated for breaking a lot of different rules, like alcohol-related rules, going to a park when you call out. Like, you can be fired in a second. They don't need you. Anybody wants to work at Disney. So that experience can be taken away from you really quickly if you don't follow the rules. So if you don't want to stick to a certain set of rules, maybe it's not the right thing for you.
I forgot to mention one more con, and that is everything is Disney all around you all the time. It sometimes feels like you can't escape it, and after a month or two, it starts to get a little bit repetitive, and you are wishing for the real world to be back. So if you think you might get tired of Disney all the time, it's probably not for you.
I hope this makes sense. I hope this really opened your mind and brought up some new points that you haven't thought about yet. Because if I had this list when I was trying to decide, I don't know what I would have picked. I feel like they have equal amounts of pros and cons. That's why I'm so lucky that I got to do both. I hope that you all get to do whatever your heart desires and you'll have the best experience doing it. So let me know down below if you guys have this dilemma or if you decide, and I can't wait to hear what you say. Thanks for listening. Bye!